Welcome to the RLT Pivot Podcast, where each week we discuss a trading topic in a way that will provide encouragement, inspire growth, vanquish fears, offer solutions, and take you to the next level in your trading journey. So get ready as we dive in right now. And welcome to another RLT Pivot Podcast. Thank you very much for joining us again. My name is Tracy, and I am once again joined with my amazing co-host, Mr. Dan Jansen. How are you, sir?
Awesome to be here once again on the Pivot Podcast. Appreciate you guys tuning in each and every week. I've personally, I don't want to speak for you, Tracy, but I've gotten asked, what is your morning routine? At first, I thought it was a very strange question, honestly. I'm like, what do you care? Like, we're here to talk about the markets. What does it matter? And then I explained what I did. Still didn't really think anything of it. But after spending some time, why do people keep asking me what I do in the morning? Why is that relevant to the charts and to the markets and how I trade full time? What does that have to do with it? So once I was thinking about it, I was like, you know what? And we talked about this a little bit on the last episode. Trading is a lot of mindset, right? And you want to put yourself into some kind of a positive atmosphere, positive mood when trading. So I think the morning routine before the market opens is definitely extremely important to how you're really setting up your entire day, right? It's if you're a business owner, you're showing up to work. If you're all grumpy and miserable, guess what? All the other employees are going to be a little bit miserable too. So if you're trading, those dollars are working for you that day. You want to make sure that they're happy with you. So what is your routine that you start your day with? How do you wake up, Tracy Ball?
I was actually going to ask you start first, but that's cool. So one of the things that I did want to touch on, because you talked about going to work, first of all, and your attitude when you go to work, that's one thing, but also the time, when you get into more of a professional career, it's not so much when you're in the entry level jobs like McDonald's or working at Burger King or things like that, where, it's very common for you to just show up as your shift starts kind of thing. But when you start to get into more professional careers, there's kind of an expectation that you show up early enough and that you're ready. You're ready to start your job when the clock starts. And so I have always taken that attitude with every career or every job or every task that I do. I love mornings. Okay. So it's been actually quite an easy transition for me to do that. I love my time, but I don't know, a couple years ago, I read The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. And so I did a bit of shifting in my day or in my morning routine to accommodate more of what I had read in that book. But what I do now is I'm up usually around 2 hours before the market opens. And the first thing that I do is I chug a great big giant bottle of water. That's the very first thing that I do. I chug it, I rehydrate my brain. I only drink water throughout the day. I don't drink anything else. I don't consume any calories in the liquid form. So water's the only thing that I ever drink. But that's the first thing that I do in the morning. I do that. And then I work out. So I go to the gym, I work out, I get a good workout in. I get out, whether it be yoga or whether I'm doing some stretching or whether I'm doing some cardio and some weights. I mix it up a little bit, but I get at least a little bit of a workout in. And right now, because I've just recently moved, I don't have a gym at home anymore. I just do a little bit of stretching and some kind of yoga type workout. And then later on, I go to the gym again for actual equipment usage. Then from there, what I do, I'll have a shower. Then I start the mental stuff. And this is probably the biggest game changer for me since I've started trading. So originally when I started trading, the first thing I would do, I would just get up, I'd go straight to computers, I'd look at what's happening with the stocks, I'd start, preparing for the stocks, I'd start looking for gaps, I'd start analyzing. There was no other preparation that I was doing. It was all stock related. And a few years back, I changed that and I started focusing way more on preparing my mindset before I started trading. And that has been a huge shift in how I perform throughout my day. Massive change. So once I finish my shower and I'm dressed, and I do get dressed every single morning, I don't trade in my pajamas. And the reason that I do that is, it's preparing me mentally to recognize, hey, I'm going to do a job right now. I'm going to perform a task, and I want to put every aspect of professionalism into that. And that includes following rules and all that other stuff. Getting dressed and ready for the day makes me feel like I'm ready to do that. It makes me feel like I'm ready to tackle the day, and not more that I've made a commitment to this versus it just being a hobby. That's my mindset. So anyway, once I've had my shower, I've gotten dressed, the next thing that I do is I spend some time on meditation. Then I spend some time in silence. I spend some time visualization, or doing some visualization of where I want to be and what I want to do. And then I do some writing, some reading, and only then do I head into the office and I start looking for my actual trade setups and what I want to do through the day. So the bulk of my morning, though, is spent on mindset. And that has been a huge, huge game changer for me in how I trade. I find that when I approach the market, or when I get to the market in the morning, I am calm. I'm not excited. I'm capable. In fact, to the point where it's like, you know what? I could trade today. I might not trade today. I'm pretty good. I feel very centered, very collected, and very focused on what my end goal is. And that gives me the ability to look at every single thing that I'm analyzing and say, okay, is this really a gotta have, or do I need to take this? Is this really what I want to do right now? And I have found that to be a huge game changer. What's your morning routine?
I don't know if I could say it any better than you did. I mean, that's the end of the episode. We'll see you guys later. Yeah, that was articulate, well thought out. That was way better than my morning routine. Well, so I come from a different aspect. Like you're definitely a morning person. I'm definitely not by any stretch of the imagination, but I love trading the markets, and that's pretty much the reason why I get up in the morning, right? So, I don't know why I would get up. Otherwise, just check the newspaper, I guess. I don't know. But the market's open. So and again, a lot of me being a nighttime person, it comes from me doing DJing and doing events, and I'm up till 2 a.m. You know, sometimes I'll crush a weekend, and then just Monday morning I'm groggy. But typically I'll wake up, so the market opens about 9:30. I usually wake up, for me, about 6:30, 7 o'clock. The one thing that I changed that I used to do all the time, and I think traders do it, is they'll immediately check the market is the first thing that they'll do. I used to do that all the time. And if the market was green or I was up heavy that day, oh man, it was such a good day. Like trading wise was good. Everything was good. But as soon as I wake up and the market was red or my positions are down, that put me into like a weird mood. Even for the rest of the morning, just associating with other people or whatever the case, it kind of drained me a little bit, because now I have that little bit of extra anxiety that I don't need. So I wake up. I do the same thing as you, actually. I'll drink the water immediately, and I'll try to drink a decent amount of water throughout the day. But I will have coffee, espresso, or something like that, typically right around market open, just to give me that little extra boost for me. But and then the other thing, so I got 2 kids, so they're usually running around, going crazy, sometimes being good angels, and sometimes playing the other side of that one. So you have chaos in the morning until they're ready to go to school. You know, they're young, they're 4 and 6 or whatever. So you have that little bit. So if they're good, oh yeah, trading is great that day. But if they're not, you get that little extra stress, right? So you have after I get them out to school, whatever, then I'm kind of, I purposely try to have like 5 minutes where I just do nothing, just kind of meditate, reflect, because that brings down all the life stress or life anxiety that could have happened before, or that energy, just to kind of refocus myself. But that is one thing. I think Seinfeld said it, where he's like, you're going on a family vacation. He's like, you as an adult don't really get a vacation, because if you got kids with you and stuff, like, because then the whole time they're screaming, they're crying, they're going crazy. You get stressed the whole time. And you got to go, oh, we got to go to this activity now, or do this. You're not really on a vacation. He's like, the only time you're on vacation is like you get all the luggage and put it into the car. You get the kids strapped in, you buckle them in. The moment you close the door and you walk around to the driver's seat, like that's your vacation, right? So that's your time for you. So I make sure that I get a couple minutes before I hop on the mic, before I really start to really look at the markets, just to kind of be like, all right, shifting gears. No matter what happened before, it's a new start. It's a new day. And for me, that was something that helped my mindset a lot when trading, is just to have the ability to just center myself a little bit and just kind of be like, whatever happened before doesn't really matter. Mm-hmm. Like this is your day. This is what you're focused on now. Right. And then once you're able to kind of clear that out, for me, the trading improved, because then I think no matter what your morning routine is, it's the ability to be at a certain place mentally to say, I'm in a good place. So yeah, if there is no trades that fit, I'm not going to aggressively, I don't need to make $3 million today. Right. Mm-hmm. And just by having that mentality is going to propel your earnings and your P&L a lot further than just sitting there. And I need to, because I'm stressed out because of XYZ, I need to make all my money right now, right as soon as the bell opens. And by getting rid of that, because the morning, and you see the volume come in early morning, as soon as 9:30 Eastern, bell rings, volumes, the largest candle of the day is always the first opening candle. It's a lot of people that are just emotional because they have to get into something right away. And just sitting back and saying, okay, let's wait 15 minutes. That could be a game changer for people. Like, just wait 15 minutes, see what happens, see how things actually shake out. And then if your plan is still there, you'll probably get another opportunity to still get in. Like, you don't have to just miss things right away. But yeah, being in that, having that little time to just kind of reevaluate things and just get on the right page with yourself, I think is huge. But yeah, so pretty much I wake up, I'll get some water, eat some breakfast, take care of the kids, get them to school, and then just for me, I just kind of have that moment, and then I'll look at the markets, and I'll evaluate where I'm at for the day as far as markets up, markets down. First thing I look at is the SPY and the Qs, because that will give me a sentiment for all of the stocks in general, and then I'm going to start looking at more individual stocks as to where they could fall into place, and if that's actually a good buying opportunity, if it's at some kind of support, things like that. That's what I'll look at pre-market.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I when I look back at the way that I used to start my morning versus the way I start it now, one of the things that I probably recognize the most was that before I would spend, like I said, it would probably be an hour and a half I would spend before market open analyzing stocks, analyzing gaps, setting up a watch list, going through and marking all my support resistance. Like, it was really, really diligent. And that was all good. But I think what ended up happening is that if I recall, I feel like I had a lot of tension that I was developing or accruing during that whole process. And I would take that tension and let it go into the first 10 minutes of trading, and all that tension gets released and into what you were just saying, that panic, that sense of I need to get into a trade right out of the gate, right out of the open, and catch that big first move, and not have the patience or the ability to sit back and wait for that 15, 30, 20, half hour, whatever it might be, for things to kind of settle out, and even recognize that there is going to be another trade later on in the day. It doesn't have to be something that you need to get right out of the open. So I feel like I didn't feel at the time that I was stressed, but I definitely recognize now that I was carrying that tension into that open, and I don't have that tension anymore. It's way more relaxed now that I'm trading the way that I'm trading and preparing the way that I am. Having that time to focus, that time to really, and the mental stuff that I'm focusing on, or the mental stuff that I'm doing in the morning, the meditation and the reading and the writing, it may not be trading related. It may, but it may not be specifically be trading related. It's just me related. So it's my own mindset related. So whatever that might be, that's helping me be more efficient in my thinking and my approach to all sorts of different aspects when it comes to the trading. And trading, I wanted to mention this in the last episode, but trading, it'll bring out the best and it'll bring out the worst in you. So if you have characteristics or traits that are harmful to trading and you're a trader and you haven't dealt with them, they're going to be amplified when you start trading. Just like all your good qualities are going to be amplified when you trade, and vice versa. Some of the things that you learn as a trader or develop are also going to translate back into your real life. So recognizing all of that and kind of knowing that. And again, this ties back into the episode that we had last time regarding the 80-20, 80% mental, 20% skill. Knowing that that's the case, not letting that aspect of your life go, realizing that 80% of trading is mental, putting that focus on there is really important. And I found that once I shifted my time and put more of my time into the mental aspect of it, it was a game changer. Right.
Yeah.
So
I like the, because I think the work from home aspect of it, I like what you said before, where you get changed, you get ready, you get dressed for the day, you're good to go by the time the market starts. The one word I liked a lot is commitment, because whether this is a hobby or something that you want to do full time, but especially full time, and be able to eventually make the switch from a career into just full-time trader, the commitment part of it is huge. And I think getting ready for the day as if this is your job, because it really is. I mean, again, whether it's your hobby or not, you're still putting your hard-earned money on the line at risk on any single trade. So if you're ready mentally for that and you're ready to commit to that, yeah, be prepared the same way you would any other job. So I 100% agree with that as far as getting ready for the occasion, that's the task that's at hand. Be professional, and I think it does affect your mindset. The other thing that I personally made a switch a couple months ago by my buddy Matt DeLong. When I went to his house, he had the standing desk. I was like, yeah, I kind of like that. So I picked up the standing desk, and we did talk about this before, but I think it plays into this topic. I would say definitely a little bit, where back when I was doing inside sales at one point, and I was on the phone, and I was sitting for a decent amount of time, but as soon as I got on the phone with somebody, I would stand, right? And I was probably the only one that would do this, but I did it consistently, and I'm not sure why. And then eventually when I was like training people, like the whole time I had them trained, it was just, I was like, no, when you're on the call, you got to stand. Like I was just training them on what I was comfortable doing. But I think a lot of that goes because when you're standing, you're ready to fight, right? You're ready to go. When I had the chair, I was just, the first 5 minutes, 15 minutes, an hour was still exciting. I was still like, okay, the market's doing something. But for me to have the patience to wait for trades, I definitely started feeling a little more sluggish. I was like, okay, I'm getting tired quicker. I would just get lazier, just try to take something because I'm bored a lot more. So as soon as I made the switch from sitting watching the markets all day to standing watching the markets all day, it just put me in a different mindset of like, okay, I'm here to fight. So if I'm going to wait for my opportunity, I don't have to strike first to win the battle. I could just watch, wait, be patient, wait for my opportunity, and then when I see it, that's when I go into it. And it just for me, being on my feet helped a lot throughout the process of the day as well.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. No, it's all really, really, really good stuff. And now when you get your mindset right and you approach the market and you're done your breakfast and you're done drinking your water and whatever other routine you do in the morning, first of all, I want to just stipulate here that my routine, Dan's routine, they're both different. My routine, Dan's routine, and your routine, they can all be different. What we do is suited for us. And I think that's probably the biggest takeaway that you can have from this is that you need to know yourself. You need to understand who you are, what makes you tick, and be honest with yourself. You're going to be honest with anybody, be honest with yourself, and recognize what it is that you need and how you operate. And for me, getting dressed in the day, I need that to make me feel a certain way. So I do these things to make me feel a certain way. I do my whole routine is set up for my success, not necessarily for your success. So recognize that, figure out what it is that you need and adapt. And it's okay to take some of the things that we're saying right now and bring them into your own morning routine, but it's okay for you to tweak things too. Maybe you like to do things a little bit differently, and that's fine. So play around with it. The point that we're trying to make, though, is that how you approach the market, how you approach your trading does impact the outcome of how your trading is for that day. And a big part of that is your mental attitude when you approach those charts in the morning. So that being said, this is going to be our last episode. Is that correct for the year?
This is the last one for this year, so that we can rev up for 2022. I can't believe I'm saying that already. 2022. What happened in 2020? Now we're on 2022.
Yes, season 2. So Dan, I have a quick question for you. We've been doing this every week for a year. What has been your favorite or most memorable occasion?
Good question. I mean, I would say the ability to listen, because we've had great guests on the show. Every day I get to hear about your trading routine. It's for me, like, yes, I trade every single day. I've been doing it for a while, but to hear the aspect of how somebody else does it, and to be able to take something like that into a certain situation, as far as maybe I could change how I look at something. Like Chris Tate had a great point last, what was it, 2 episodes ago, 2 or 3 episodes ago, where he said when, like, his pattern of what he does is, if something isn't looking right or is unsure, he'll walk away for 15 minutes, come back, and he'll look at a bigger picture of things. Like, he'll look at the entire pattern, the entire screen, just to be able to do something like that and just remind yourself, like, yeah, everything I do in this minute doesn't necessarily, it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of the eternity of the market. So how do you really focus, like, put all your weight onto I'm correct or wrong in this minute situation? That was a huge point, because I understand the concept, but sometimes you just forget, right? You just get caught up in the daily motion of things. But yeah, I mean, just the knowledge from all the guests that we had, hearing you and your routine just inside and out, as far as pretty much the aspect that we covered today of waking up, what you do before the market, what you look for in the market, all of that, I think that weighs heavily into the ability to change my own perspective on things, right? And I think that's a huge value that I personally got out of it. What would you say for you?
Yeah, that's great. For me, it's been having all these amazing guests on our show. I think that's been awesome. My most memorable, I think, is also having Tony Pollock on the show and not having to say a word, really, because he talked the entire episode. I think that was great. It was our biggest episode, probably because you and I weren't talking. so I think that's awesome. But no, you know what? And the biggest takeaway for me, Dan, has actually been getting to know you. So I'm thrilled that that's been an opportunity, and I'm looking forward to season 2. And folks out there, you know what? Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for listening. And, you know, if you continue to find value in this, please share this with other people. We want to get this out there. This is why we do this. We do this so that other traders that are either new or struggling or whatever, they have a place that they can come to. They have a place that they can come to and not feel alone, because we've all been there. We're all going through it, and we all have some value to add. So once again, reach out to us at any time, Tracy at reallifetrading.com or Dan at reallifetrading.com. We would love to hear from you. If there's topics you want us to cover, if there's things you want to discuss, or maybe even you want to be on the show, reach out to us, let us know. And we're looking forward to ringing out 2021 as an awesome year, and then coming into 2022 as a fresh start and just killing the next year. So that's where we're at.
Yeah.
Thank you.
100%. And keep in mind, guys, we do have all of the links below you can just click on those. You'll be taken to our Facebook page. Make sure you subscribe to our Facebook page. Check out our Twitter. we do post some content from some of the episodes, also some questions in general for the market or how we're feeling that day. Make sure you interact with us on Twitter as well. We'd love to hear from you. And I guess this is our last episode. So have a absolutely fantastic holiday season, and a New Year as well. The markets, just so you guys know, from the time that you're listening to this until the New Year comes, volume does drop a little bit in the market. Use this time, yes, you can still trade in the market, you can still make money in the market, but we ended this last episode with the morning strategy. Last time of the morning routine of what we do. Last episode, we focused a lot on the mentality portion of things. Use this time to really start to understand the mentality portion of things. Work on being able to understand what you did in 2021 that worked for you and what might have not have worked, or what mindsets. You have to start somewhere in order to create a routine. So like working out, the hardest push-up you do, if you're doing 100 push-ups, the hardest push-up you do is not push-up 100. It's push-up number 1, right? It's to mentally get yourself ready to get on the floor, get ready for a push-up, not find a million excuses of why you can't work out that day. And then once you get into it, then you start to develop that rhythm. You start to develop that form. So I think it's extremely important. While the market might slow down a little bit during the next few weeks, look at your trading plan, understand why you have that trading plan, review that trading plan, because obviously if an entire year goes by, you might start to forget certain aspects of it that could be a crucial part to your trading. But get on the floor, do that first push-up, right? Get ready to build that routine, start to develop who you are as a person, and that will start to reflect in your P&L for the overall year.
Yeah, and Dan, I forgot to mention this earlier, and I want to bring it up now, but there's one other thing that I do in the morning, and I can't believe I didn't even mention it, because it's so second nature to me now that I even forget that I do it. But I started, almost 540 days ago, I started doing Duolingo, learning German. Ooh. And at some point I started it to do it with my son. My son was taking it at the same time. He's long quit doing Duolingo. He's long quit learning German. I have consistently done it every single day for 540 days. I do it every single day just to maintain that streak, and to remind myself that I have discipline, to remind myself that I'm capable of doing the same thing over and over and over and over again. So I do it for that reason, and that reason alone, because I'm not doing it enough to really learn any German, and I don't have anybody to speak to in that language to really make it fluent. So it's not really beneficial from a language perspective, but it is beneficial from I'm going to do this diligently every single day. And there's a streak count there. So I know exactly what I'm doing. And it just reminds me, hey, you're sticking to it. So Good for you. So I encourage you all to come up with ways of reminding yourself and keeping yourself on track. And the other thing I wanted to say is that I would love to know what your morning routines are. So send us a link or send us a comment in the comments below. Let us know what your morning routines are. And we'd also like to know what your favorite takeouts from all of our episodes throughout the year. What were your most memorable moments? I'd like to know those as well. So please throw them in the comments below or email them to me. We'd like to hear that. Okay. Awesome. And other than that, I think we're out of time.
That just about wraps it up. Once again, thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of Pivot Podcast and the Pivot Podcast throughout the entire course of the year. Truly, we're blessed to be able to provide some of the content. We thank all of the guests for coming on in 2021. We will have, and just like I said, to plan out your year, we're going to be going through the next week or so, just planning out the episodes for next week. So if you guys have episodes or things that we didn't cover or would like to recap, make sure you guys send us a quick note on either Facebook or email. And this way we could put that into the agenda as well for you guys. And next year we do have a lot of new guests that we're working on bringing onto the show as well. So we hope you guys enjoy the holidays, have a fantastic New Year's, and we'll see you in 2022. Take it easy, guys.